Hello, it's Bailey and welcome back to my channel. I was going through my subscription feed and I saw that Nessa had posted the 20 questions tag, and then as I was watching it, I realized that she actually tagged me, and I thought this would be a fun way just to kind of learn, you know, more of my reading tastes, and it just seemed like a fun tag to do. And I didn't prepare my answers, so this will be coming, you know, as I see them. I didn't grab anything ahead of time, so I may have to run to my shelves and grab some things. But yeah, let's get into the 20 questions. The first question is, how many books are too many for a series? And I don't read a lot of series anymore. I wouldn't say I don't enjoy them, but it can get too long, and I would say my limit is probably around like 5 books, 6 books. Question 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I don't like them at all. A lot of the times if I'm reading a series, I am not necessarily committing to reading every book. So a cliffhanger is not fun, and a cliffhanger in a standalone, like, why would, I don't get it. I don't like that. Number 3 is, do you prefer a hardcover or a paperback? And I actually prefer a paperback, which I think might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion. If I can find a paperback, I'm gonna buy the paperback, unless it's like a series that isn't finished yet, and I know that I'm going to be purchasing the rest in hardcover as they're released, because I do like my series to all match and be the same format. But if it's out in paperback, or the whole series is out in paperback, I will usually always go for the paperback. Number 4 is, what's your favorite book? Like, favorite of all time? I don't know, that's a lot. Can most of you pick a favorite of all time and not have to list like 10? I don't know if this is my favorite of all time, but one I like to mention because I feel like it's pretty polarizing. Like, people either like it, or I know quite a few people that really don't like this book. But I love Every Day by David Levithan. Number 5 is least favorite book, which is actually a little bit easier. I just went to Goodreads and looked at like everything I've rated 1 star. And one I feel like mentioning is Every Breath by Nicholas Sparks, which I did not read that long ago, but still is just like leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Number 6 is Love Triangles, Yes or No. And I don't have much of an opinion on this one either. I think it can be done well and bad. So, like, in what context? Like, what love triangle are we talking about here? They would be a no for me when it's super obvious, like, who the person's gonna pick, or like one of the people isn't even like a good option. But other than that, like, I can enjoy a good love triangle. Number 7 is the most recent book you couldn't finish. And the most recent thing I read that I didn't finish was The Guardians by John Grisham. I just really didn't like the writing. I thought it was super boring. Number 8 is a book you are currently reading, which we're at my reading chair. So I have some things I'm currently reading here. I am currently reading 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo. I don't have the like dust jacket on it right now, but yeah, this is going really well. I'm like 100 pages in. Number 9 is the last book you recommended to someone, and I actually just went away for the weekend with my family, and my mom asked for a book to read, so I recommended that she get One to Watch by Kate Stayman London, because I read it recently and loved it, and she also is a huge fan of like the Bachelor franchise, so I recommended that to her, but I don't think she actually read it. So okay, these next 2 I'm gonna have to pull up my Goodreads for, and they are oldest book you've read by publication and newest book you've read by publication. And the oldest thing I've read is, and I love that this is what it is because I stan this series, and it is Junie B. Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus by Barbara Park. Other than that, like, not children's book, I read Of Mice and Men, which I would think that This is saying that was published in 1993, but I feel like that might not be right. So I haven't read anything that is actually that old, but the newest thing I've read by publication year, so anything in 2020, actually I know this is the newest thing I've read. I read The Duke Who Didn't by Courtney Milan, and I really loved that book, and it came out, like I read it on the day it came out. Number 12 is your favorite author, and I have a few, like there's certain authors I've only read one thing but I've loved it, and then there's authors that I've read a lot of their things but haven't loved everything. So I think I would include like definitely Riley Sager, Karen Slaughter as a favorite, Sarah Dessen, even though it's been a long time since I've read any of her stuff. Like Sarah J. Maas, I've read a lot of her stuff, but I wouldn't say that they're all favorites. Who else? I'm like looking at my bookshelf over here. Like again, Colleen Hoover, I've read a lot of her stuff, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I don't know, but there's a lot of authors that I'm like keeping an eye out for more books by them, like Frederick Bachman. I really loved Beartown, but that's the only thing that I've read by him, so I struggle to say he's a favorite author. I have a couple more of his books I'm hoping to get to soon. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. Number 13 is, do you prefer buying books or borrowing books? And honestly, I prefer buying books. If I could afford to buy all my books, I would. But I also love to support the library, and I do use the library, and I'm trying to do that more to save money. But yeah, if I had like all the expendable income in the world, I would probably buy more books than I do. I just think it's a great way to like support authors and the publishing industry. Not that using the library isn't, that is also amazing. By requesting things, you're forcing your library to, you know, buy those copies and get more of those books. So yeah, I think both are great, but I love owning books. Number 14 is a book you dislike that everyone seems to love, and I always think this because I still see so much about this book. It was hyped when I read it, and it's still hyped now, and I really don't like Vicious by V.E. Schwab at all. I did not like that book. I didn't enjoy any of the reading, and still I'm like, I remember the concept so vividly, and I'm just like, it's not that good, and everyone loves that book. So sorry if that's your favorite. Number 15 is Bookmarks or Dog Ear, and definitely Bookmarks. I'm all for like people who dog ear and annotate and do all that stuff. I just personally don't, and I prefer a bookmark. Number 16 is a book you can always reread, and I do quite a bit of rereading, but something I've reread a lot of times, like I recently reread The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, and I loved that and I would love to read that again. I always love rereading Harry Potter, but I kind of put a reread on pause due to obvious reasons. What's something else I reread a lot? Of Mice and Men. I really like that book, and it's short, so that's a good like reread. I don't know, like a lot of thrillers, which I read a lot of, aren't really things I tend to like to reread. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Number 17 is, can you read while listening to music? And yes, I can, but I usually don't prefer to. I like to read in silence, but if there's a lot of noise going on, like if Chris is downstairs watching sports really loud, I will put my headphones in and listen to just some like instrumental, or if I'm in public and there's, you know, noise, I will listen to instrumental music. Number 18 is one POV or multiple, and I think I prefer one POV because I don't like when you're really getting into something and then it switches and, you know, pulls you out of the immersiveness. But I do obviously really love a lot of books that are multiple POV, and I feel like that was a big trend for a while, like everything was multiple POV. So either way, but in my mind I think I prefer one POV. Number 19 is, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? And usually over multiple days. There is days where I have, you know, read a whole book in a day, but more often than not, I'm reading stuff over multiple days. And number 20, the final question is, who do you tag? And I'm actually not going to tag anyone in this because Nessa tagged most of the people that I would tag. So I mostly just want to know if you would like to be tagged in things by me in the future. Comment down below and I will tag you next time. Of course, feel free to do this if you want to. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was kind of just a fun, you know, I'm going to sneak this video in there. I have some bigger projects I'm working on right now that should be coming very soon, as well as the end of the month. So I hope you enjoyed this little extra, you know, fun challenge questions. And I hope I will see you guys again soon. Bye!